What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Eshi and I do a ton of DIY, finance, and travel videos. And today I'm starting a new tradition. It's been about 2 years since I've really started setting goals for myself, financial and otherwise. So I wanted to do a 2021 wrap up to see all the things that I have accomplished and maybe some of the things that I didn't. I used to be super anti goal setting and super anti New Year's resolution and all of that stuff. But I've actually realized it's really helped keep me in track for all of my financial goals and some of my personal goals. It's helped me realize that when you really want to work towards something, it's easier to break it down into small monthly goals and smaller chunks so that in the end, you do end up accomplishing the things you want. And on the other hand, budgeting has helped me a ton with my financial goals. I consider budgeting really a big set of goals that you're trying to hit every month. And so the whole point of this video is to share some of my accomplishments with you, but also to encourage you to set some of those personal goals and to hopefully build a budget for yourself, because it will really help you accomplish those things that you really want out of life. I have actually already made a budgeting video, so I'll leave the link for that right here, so definitely check that out if you do not know how to make a budget yourself and need somewhere to start. And another quick disclaimer, I am definitely not trying to brag about the things that I have accomplished this year. I'm just trying to make it so that you see how accessible it is for you as well if you use those tools of budgeting and goal setting. Before we get started, if you could give me a thumbs up, that would help me out greatly, and if you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit subscribe because I have a couple other financial related videos coming up for you guys. And one comment I want you guys to leave down below is, what is one of the biggest things that you accomplished in 2021? What are you the most proud of that you did in this past year? I definitely want to hear all about it. Jumping right in, I'm going to start off with my financial goals. And really, the reason behind all of these things that I've accomplished has to do with my budgeting. One of the biggest things that I am most proud of this year is that I saved about $15,000 towards my 401k. I was able to do this by contributing almost 20% of my income towards my retirement goals. I also contributed $6,000 to my Roth IRA, so this is the second year that I have maxed that out, so I am super happy about that. I also contributed about $4,200 towards my real estate / house sinking fund. And that's the money that I will hopefully be using in the future to buy a house. And by the future, I don't exactly know when that's going to be, but that's probably going to be within the next 5 years. I also contributed $2,000 towards my moving sinking fund. And that kind of ties into another one of my financial accomplishments this year, which is really deciding that we are going to be moving to San Diego next year and figuring out a budget that would make that possible for us. So I contributed $2,000 towards the money that we'll be spending in moving across the country, because it's gonna be expensive. Going back to figuring out how we could make San Diego really work for us financially, I'm also really proud of myself for building a potential San Diego budget. So basically, I just put in all of the numbers I think I'm going to be spending in San Diego. I made myself a little fake budget with all of my income coming in, making sure I'm still saving for my retirement goals and some of my other sinking fund goals to see if I could really afford to live in San Diego. And same for Chumley, my boyfriend. I wanted to make 2 different budgets to make sure we both could just really afford being there. And according to the numbers, I think we can make it possible, so I'm super happy about that as well. I also saved and subsequently used $3,000 towards my travel sinking fund. You'll hear a little bit more about what I used those $3,000 for a little bit later in the video. Another thing that I am actually super proud of myself for doing is I actually took over figuring out Chumley's finances. Between the two of us, I'm really the one that loves digging into the spreadsheets and the budgeting and the finances and the numbers, all of that fun stuff. So together, we decided that I would take over all of his finances this year, as well as keeping track of my own. I built him a full budget this year, and I kept track of his finances throughout the year. We had a couple of check-ins. We talked about how he was doing, if he was meeting some of his goals or not. I think this has really helped him understand what it really means to spend money, or to save money, and how we can use sinking funds to our advantage. And I think it's going to help us get on the same page and combine hopefully some of our finances going on in the future. I think one of the biggest concepts that he realized through this experience, and that hopefully you can also understand when you take budgeting into your own hands, is that having enough money in your checking account doesn't necessarily mean that you can afford something. So if something is $100 and you have $100 in your checking account, that doesn't mean you should be spending that $100 immediately towards something that you want, right? And budgeting is really going to help you understand that concept, that you should save that before you can spend it. Another thing we did in 2021 is, between the two of us, Chumley and I both got, I'm gonna call it 2.5 credit cards. So I got the Chase Sapphire Preferred in, I believe it was July, June, something like that, in the summer. And then he got the American Express Platinum. And I actually was added on as an additional account member, and I got like the same equivalent platinum card that I get to use for myself as well. But it goes towards the same account, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna call it 2.5 credit cards. Those 2 credit cards have really helped us understand and really get more into this whole travel hacking world. I'm still trying to figure out all of the ins and outs, but we did get a couple new memberships from those cards as well. Some Marriott, some Hilton, the Delta Sky Club. We got a lot of different perks this year. We got those memberships so that we can use it towards our travel hacking in the future. I was also able to maintain my credit score throughout the year, even when we got those new credit cards, and we were actually able to bump up Chumley's credit score as well during this whole year. So we are both above 760 now. So that is perfect range. Another thing that I'm super excited for that has actually really helped me in my whole video making and editing process is I was able to build myself a computer with a lot of help from Chumley. I was able to save and then spend $2,000 towards my own PC, and that has made it so that I can create my own videos. I can edit them on my own computer without having to bother Chumley or use his computer, which I was doing for far too long. So that was a huge accomplishment, which I didn't actually budget for at the beginning of the year, so I'm super thankful I was able to do that. And as an overall number, I really like to see the amount that I have saved/invested out of my total income. Last year, we hardly did anything outside. We definitely did not travel. We weren't eating out very much. We were doing the bare minimum. And I was able to save and invest 50% of my income in 2020. This year, I was able to save and invest 30% of my total income. So I am super happy with that number, especially because we got to travel a lot more this year. We got to eat out a lot more. We did a lot of things this year, so I am super happy and super grateful that I got to that 30%. I would not be able to get to that number without my tools of goal setting and budgeting. So don't forget to leave a comment down below if you want to see how I'm going to do that for this upcoming year. I will take you through all the details of what my budget will be for 2022 and how I plan on goal setting so I can really accomplish the things that I want to do within this next year. So that was the end of all of my money talk for 2021. But another thing I did during the entire year is I kept a running list of the best and worst moments of 2021. And I want to share that list with you because although there were some amazing things that happened in 2021 that I am so grateful for, there are always things that happen that are not the best moments, right? So I wanted to be completely genuine and true with you guys and share some of the ups as well as some of the downs. I feel like you can't really enjoy the true peaks, the true high moments of a year without also being grateful for the low moments and what they taught you, right? So I'm going to share with you the best and worst moments of 2021, and I'm going to start with health as my category. One of the highest moments in terms of health for 2021 was getting fully vaccinated and also getting my booster shot. I am so grateful that I did not get COVID this year and that I was able to get fully vaccinated. It is an incredible feeling to be vaccinated and make sure that I am doing my best to stay healthy and that I am not spreading this virus as much as possible to those that I love and those that I come in contact with. So it was definitely a huge blessing this year to get vaccinated. That was one of my best points, and one of my lower points that kind of came hand in hand with that was just getting a little sick after each vaccine shot. Now, obviously everyone's symptoms after the vaccine were different, but I got hit kind of hard. After the first one, I think I was down for like 2 days. After the second shot, I was down for 4 days with chills and fevers and all of that fun stuff. And then after my booster shot, I think it was, my compromised immune system right after, I picked up a cold, and I was out for like 5 days maybe, just like sneezing and all of that fun stuff. So just a low point, but I am totally willing to do that all over again if it means getting vaccinated again. Another high point in my health category was finally getting my tooth fixed. Now, you probably didn't even notice, but one of my front teeth, this one right here, was chipped. And actually it got chipped, I think it was at the beginning of 2020, and I was personally devastated. It was at the very front of my smile, and I'm a person who smiles quite a lot, so it definitely affected my self-confidence just a little bit. And I'm sure it was hardly noticeable to anybody else, but of course I'm the one looking at my face every day, so I was able to finally get that fixed at the dentist, and I was so happy and excited about it. I was also able to get my teeth professionally whitened this year. That was a new experience for me. Don't necessarily recommend it, because that was also kind of a low for me. It hurt a lot. I actually couldn't even like talk for a day after that happened because my teeth are super sensitive, and I just didn't realize how painful it would be. But I was able to get it whitened and super happy with the results. I don't know, you guys tell me if you can even notice a difference. Unfortunately, another low for my health category was this year I got laser hair removal burns. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have recently posted a video all about that. I will leave the link right here. But I was going for full body laser hair removal, and unfortunately the place I was going to was super unprofessional, didn't know how to handle their clients, didn't instruct anyone on before or after care for your skin, and unfortunately I was burned all over the bottom half of my face, my neck, and my arms, and I am still recovering from that. So if you want to hear all about that, I will leave the video right here. And to end this health category on a more positive note, I'm going to share with you something that is super personal to me, and if you do not feel the same way that I do, I please ask that you are super nice in the comments, because again, this is a personal choice that I get to choose for my own body, and I hope you can respect that. But one of the highs for me in terms of health this year is I was able to finally talk to my OB-GYN about potential for sterilization. I am child-free by choice, which means that I do not want children. I never really have wanted children, and I know in the future I also will not want children. So I really wanted to talk to my OB-GYN about the future potential of eliminating that possibility. I've heard many horror stories from women about when they approach their doctors about this, and thankfully this was a high for me this year because my doctor was super understanding, talked me through all of my questions, what the procedures are, what are the potentials, and it was honestly a very positive conversation and a positive moment for me. I have definitely not made any decisions, but I am super happy that that conversation was one of the highlights of my year. I'm going to move categories now, and we're going to talk about my personal best and worst moments of 2021. I have to start this category off by talking about how Chumley and I got engaged this year, and we got a ring, which I forgot to wear for this video, whoops, but that was definitely a big moment for us, and so that's number one on my personal bests. On the flip side of that, unfortunately, one of my worst moments was realizing that we had to cancel our plans for a wedding celebration for next year because of my laser burns. I will not be able to go in the sun by the time that we were trying to kind of plan this wedding celebration weekend with everybody. So unfortunately, we had to cancel those plans. So again, if you want to hear more about that, check out that laser burn video. But for obvious reasons, that was a low for 2021. Another personal best moment was actually going to my 10-year high school reunion. Yes, it has been exactly 10 years since I graduated high school. So we had a small reunion with, I don't even know, probably like half my actual graduating class, which was already small to begin with. but we were able to have that in Michigan over Thanksgiving break. And honestly, it was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I reconnected with a lot of old friends. I saw how their lives have changed for the better, and it was a really joyous moment. So that was definitely a best moment for me in 2021. Another couple major personal bests was being able to travel in 2021. I did not think that was going to be possible, but thankfully to our vaccines, we were able to travel safely, and we did a bunch of trips actually. We did Puerto Rico in June and July for a whole week, and that was one of the best trips I have ever been on in my entire life, and I documented all of it, so I'll leave a couple links right here. I was able to go to DC and visit my aunt for the first time. We went with my sister and Chumley, and we visited them for, I think it was like a long weekend, and that was an awesome family moment. I went to 3 weddings in total, 2 of them being out of town, and I had a bunch of fun at all 3 of them. I went to Philadelphia recently to visit a friend, and that was such a nice chill weekend. I will leave the link to that vlog right here. I documented everything. We also went to San Diego for, I think it was like 4 to 5 days, just to apartment hunt, and that was a bunch of fun. So if you want to see our apartment tours or any of our San Diego vlogs, I made a couple. I will also leave those links right here. I was also able to resume back up in the dance world. If you don't know that about me already, I am also a Bollywood dancer, and I actually typically travel to judge Bollywood dance competitions across the US. That was all kind of obviously put on hold because of COVID. I continued to judge virtually, but I was actually able to judge the first back in-person competition. It was in Atlanta, and that was a bunch of fun. I was so grateful for that opportunity. Now, the downside of all of those trips that I realized for the first time is we had to leave our kittens at home. And we got our kittens in 2020 during the pandemic, so we had never had to leave them at all up until this year when we started traveling again. We had Chumley's sister come in to the apartment and just live here whenever we were gone and take care of our kittens, but it was pretty heart-wrenching to have to leave them, and I knew they were in good hands, but if you have animals, you understand it's very hard to leave them when you love them that much. So the downside of all the traveling we did. The last personal best for 2021 is a very random one. I was actually able to audition for a movie this year. Right off the bat, I am not an actor. I have never once claimed to be an actor. The most I would consider myself even in that category was all of these plays that I did in elementary school. I used to be a singer in elementary school. So I did a bunch of musicals back then, but that is obviously a long time ago, and that is the most I would put myself in that category. But for some random reason, a company had reached out to me this year and asked me to audition for one of the main lead roles in a new movie that's coming out. I unfortunately think that I did not make the cut. Don't know for sure yet, I guess, but I don't think I made the cut. I'm not gonna say too much more about it. I'll actually let you guys know what movie that was when it hopefully comes out sometime soon, and we can all laugh about how I was almost the main character, but that was definitely a highlight of my 2021. And to wrap up this list of best and worst moments of 2021, we're gonna talk about my work life. And we're actually gonna get it started with one of the worst moments of 2021. So in preparation for our plans to move to San Diego, I knew that I had to find another job that would allow me to be fully remote or potentially in San Diego. In this journey of finding a job during the pandemic, during the Great Resignation, I was declined by 2 roles that I was really looking forward to. The first role that I was declined from, I think I just kind of had my heart set on it because it was the first big role that I was interviewing for, and I usually do really well in interviews, and I thought it had gone great. And then, a week went by, 2 weeks went by, and they were still not getting back to me, and I was just like, oh, it's okay, I'm just gonna keep hoping. And then I got declined, so it definitely broke me for a second there, just a second. I was definitely very sad. I may have questioned everything about my life at that moment, but we're back. I'm back. I got declined by another role right afterwards. I didn't take it too personally at that point, and we moved on. And with that low came one of my biggest highs of 2021, which was getting a job offer at the current company that I'm working at right now. It was a fully remote position, which was honestly a dream come true. And another big moment was with this new role, I am now getting paid 6 figures. And it just sounds crazy. It just sounds crazy when I say that, but honestly, that was a huge goal of mine. It was written down in, I think, like my 5-year plan a couple years ago, and I feel like I'm getting emotional even thinking about that, but I landed that job, I did it, I am now getting paid 6 figures, and I could not be more grateful. I could not be more grateful. So huge moment for me in 2021. And the last best moment for 2021 for me was continuing with my YouTube videos. I have honestly had such a blast doing it. I am almost up to 600 subscribers, which is definitely not a lot, but I appreciate each and every one of you coming on here and supporting me and watching my videos. Some of the comments you guys leave me, I mean, I read them out loud whenever I get a comment that's like, thank you so much, or you helped me do this, thanks. I immediately tell everyone, I'm like, oh my god, Chumley, read this person's comment to me. They said that my video helped a little. I mean, like, it means the world to me if I can make even the slightest bit of difference in any of your lives. You know, let me know. I love to hear about it. It makes my day. Truly, it makes my day every single time I read a comment. So let me know. And it's definitely a personal and work best moment of 2021 was continuing these videos and getting up to almost 600 subscribers. I am so grateful for you guys, and honestly, I wish you the best 2022 coming up. Don't forget to let me know in the comments below what one of your best moments of 2021 was. I would love to hear all about it. Don't forget to give me a like on this video and subscribe if you want to see more financial videos or even more personal videos, lifestyle videos. I would love to do that for you guys. Just let me know. And have a happy holiday, you guys. Have a wonderful New Year's, and I wish you the best of luck with all of your goals for 2022.